Hey everyone, Grayson the Bard here, and welcome back to day 80 of the Hunt-A-Day. We are continuing in early G rank in Monster Hunter Frontier, and today we are fighting a very fun, funky little guy. Another fun bird wyvern monster, kind of based off the Hypnocatrix skeleton. Today we are fighting Farunaku. And I want to love this creature. I want to love this monster. On paper it scratches a lot of itches. It ticks a lot of boxes that I like with Monster Hunter monsters in terms of like fight design, aesthetic. The big one is he's a big dumb idiot. And big dumb idiot monsters are my absolute favorite. He is essentially a Hypnocatrix with a yellow, like, pom-pom poof ball afro around its head that attacks by doing dance moves and generating static electricity, which it then discharges at the end of its dance. There's a couple moves you'll see in this hunt where it, like, strikes a pose. It straight up does, like, the disco, like, hand on the hip, finger in the air pose at the end of some of its attacks, and that I absolutely love. The fight itself frustrated me to hell, and I did not enjoy it one single solitary bit. I think a lot of it has to do with what you're seeing is my first attempt at hunting this monster, and I think as the fight progressed, I got a little bit better at knowing when to, not be close to the Farunaku, but at the same time, the area of effect on its static discharge moves are massive. And there's times where I thought I was out of the way, I thought I was safe, or I thought I, started running in a way that I would, the burst would happen, and then I would be able to run past it and get in, and I misjudged it completely. So I had a very hard time dealing with its static electricity, and I think that's a big reason why I dislike this fight so much, because on paper it's pretty fun and it's unique. I like the idea of this, very, poof-ball-y monster generating static electricity and it looking like dancing. It reminds me of the Birds of Paradise, their mating dance thing where it shimmies around. It really reminds me of that. It's a damn shame the fight is just frustrating as hell. I don't really have too much else to say aside from that. Usually when I'm doing these recordings for the Hunt-A-Day and I'm thinking about what I'm going to talk about, I spend a lot of time while I'm doing the hunt, clocking moves that I want to talk about and thinking about, okay, how does this monster move? What do I like about it? What do I think is neat? What can I, go into detail on? And the entire time I was fighting Farunaku, I was just thinking, fuck this thing. This thing sucks. I hate it. I just want this fight to be done so I can move on to fighting something that I enjoy. Definitely a big step down from both the hunts we did. Even I enjoyed a Cephadrum much more than I enjoyed fighting Farunaku. I enjoyed a Piscine wyvern hunt more than I enjoyed a bird wyvern, and that is wild for me. I don't want this hunt to be... I don't want this Hunt-A-Day video to be just me dunking on this bird, though, because, again, I do really like its aesthetic. I think the blue, green, and yellow, I think it works really well together. It does a good job of highlighting, okay, here, these are the parts of the monster that you want to be paying attention to. It's a very good contrast, and it plays really well with each other. Aesthetically, this bird is great, and I would like to see it again in that regard, but its fight definitely needs a rework in order to, in my opinion, come back in a mainline Monster Hunter game. I keep coming back to those damn static discharge moves, and the only thing I can think of that would make it, bearable is if they did... really lean into the MMO inspiration, have, the area of effect around it where it is going to be affected by the static glow a little bit before it happens, so that you can more easily read, okay, where am I supposed to be? And I know that isn't usually something that you want to see in a, naturalistic Monster Hunter game, but I'm surprised it wasn't in Frontier. I wish I liked this monster. I really wish I did, but for now, in terms of it coming back in Monster Hunter Wilds, I don't think so. I think if they're gonna bring back a Hypnocatrix, they're gonna bring back Hypnocatrix. So I'm gonna say returning in Wilds, let's say a 1 or 2 maybe. It's not impossible, but I don't think it's likely, and then for returning in a future game, again, I think before this thing comes back, the other Hypnocatrix are going to need to come back as well. So I'm gonna put it around the 4 or 5, kind of lower end of middle of the road style. longer video today, and usually that means longer rambles, but I am very busy today, so I need to wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for watching. Please stick around until the end of the hunt if you can. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't, and until next time, I'll see you next time.